morning and welcome to this week's edition of Coffee with a Coach. If you know me, you know I'm not a real big math and science guy. In fact, back in 7th grade, back in elementary and middle school, I usually did pretty poorly. 7th grade, in fact, I remember I was in what they called Group 3, and Group 3 was the people that really didn't do very well in math. Later, though, I took a college physics course back in 1986, and actually I got a B in that course. Physics was a little bit more interesting to me, and what I found interesting was the things called the laws of physics. There was a lot of different laws. What was so interesting is that once something was a law in physics, you couldn't change it. One of the laws that really stood out, and I was thinking about this week, is something called the Second Law of Thermodynamics. Now there's a fancy symbol for it, but what it really says is that you can't break even. You can't return to the same energy state. The reason you can't return to the same energy state is because a condition called entropy is always increasing. In other words, there is just no way that you can ever even stay even without putting effort into something. So what's that mean for us? It means that if you were really intent on doing well in terms of a career, you have to continue to work to get better. My son, when he was playing youth football a few years ago, had a coach, and the coach would always have the players break the huddle and say this phrase, "get better." What that meant, of course, is that they were going to always work to get better. That is the way that you can actually work to push forward and break, if you try, the second law of thermodynamics. In other words, we have to push to get better. So think about the way it would be in terms of a career. Let's say, for example, you were an IT professional and you just said, I don't even need to get any more certifications, I'm going to do what I've always done. Maybe you work in a beauty shop and you say, you know what, I don't think I'm going to look at fashion magazines because the fashions, they never really change. You're an auto mechanic and say, you know what, I'm not interested in working on hybrid cars or those new electric cars. Those things won't last. Maybe you're a training professional like myself and you're using old dated stories and ideas and concepts, things that went out years and years ago. If you're one of these people that works in social media and you say, you know what, no need to keep looking at new things because everything we have now, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, those things will always be the same. You think about it, no matter what you do, things will always change. If you determine that you're going to try to stay one step ahead, that's the best place you can be. The other day I was talking to a friend and we were talking about what motivates us, and I said, you know, I almost feel like I need to run as if there's a big dog chasing me and it's just about to bite me in the rear end. So I'm pushing to stay that much further ahead. That's not a bad thing for all of us to think about. If you're not actively working to get better, you'll get worse. If you're not doing anything, you just can't possibly even stay the same because other people will pass you up. If you're not working to get better, you will only get worse. It's as simple as that. So this week, be thinking about what you can do in your job, your career, your field of study, your specialty to get better. Think about new things you can learn, new ideas that you can begin thinking about, new books you can read. Make yourself a student of the field or whatever it is, and you can't help but get better. Simple little thing to do, but it certainly can pay big rewards, and it does take a lot of work. So that's my thoughts for this week. Hope it's helpful for you. Be thinking about what you can do to get better, and hopefully I'll see you next week when we start thinking about other topics on Coffee with a Coach. With that, have an awesome week, and I'll see you next time on Coffee with a Coach. Bye-bye.